man, Buffalo, New York. Welcome to another edition. I know I'm hollering. I'm in the car on my way over to where we broadcast from. Want to welcome you to another edition of Power to the People. Got to give the people what they want. Those of you in Atlanta might not know this, but we do a lot of homegoings at our church. And last week I think I was running from a homegoing. Nope, wrong words. I wasn't running from a homegoing. I had just done a homegoing, and today we did a homegoing. And so we don't have the traffic like Atlanta, so I can get from our downtown location to our east side location in about 9 to 10 minutes. And in Buffalo, you know, that's considered a little distance.
Absolutely.
So spending time in Atlanta, I see how, yeah, man, you're going to go from one place to another. You're going to be on the road for a minute. Let me just start out saying, before we check on each other's weekend, that my heart is going out to those who have lost family members in Jamaica and in other places with this catastrophic storm. And a lot of times what I have noticed, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I'm just being honest in my observation, is that when natural disasters occur in some places where it's predominantly people of color, it doesn't get as much sometimes attention across the world as it does in other places. And I think we have to be purposeful in saying, especially when it's places, you know, how many times do they really talk about what's going on in Africa and what's going on in Haiti? Heck, what's going on in Cuba? It's not as much. So I think it is our responsibility, who have platforms and media, to say when there have been natural disasters in our areas, and to recognize it, because some areas you have people who will be raised. Now, I don't know why they on my tail. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like nobody on my tail. Like I am driving. I do have road rage. Come on, back off. Why you gotta be on my tail? We going right here. I'm making this right here. Got the blinker. Anyway, I digress. So there will be all of these, which I want you to notice, all of these fundraisers and send, I ain't gonna say the different places because I don't want to be accused of, you know, saying, but it's the truth. You know, you're not gonna see the type of fundraising for Jamaica as you would for other areas. And so it becomes incumbent upon us that we lift up those who look like us, those who struggle like us, those especially who came from the same continent as us, because if we don't, nobody else will. So I wanted to start the show off. How was your weekend this weekend?
Hold on, I just realized we weren't live on a couple platforms. So my weekend, this upcoming or this past weekend, because you know that's two different things.
One.
Yeah,
take your pick.
Last weekend was good. It was super chill. You know, we always like that. Our team won against a team from Canada, so that's a good win, and that leads us into the showdown in Athol Springs, which is, for those in this area, is basically Hamburg, to play the 1 versus 2 matchup, St. Francis versus Canisius. It will be aired on local TV and streamed on radio and I think YouTube. So it's going to be a big weekend. There's a lot of New York
people watching from all over the United States. They don't know who our team is and what that means.
Oh, that's what I said. It's St. Francis, the Red Raiders of St. Francis. It's a high school. We're a big high school. That's big high school rival. Yeah. So right. We it'll be good. It'll be a good game. So like I said, and as I put up on a post, for those in Buffalo who aren't going to the black party, come on out and dress warm and come to the game this weekend. So it should be a good one.
All right, so I think my phone is switching over from my car. So you're not going to hear me as well until I get into church. If you want to run that commercial, and then we'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call.
All right, we are back. Let me get rid of some of this echo in my ear. All right, welcome everybody. We're back. I'm in the studio. Let me go right to, in a minute, we are going to call young lady who runs our food pantry. This is a really important discussion today because today is Halloween, and there's a lot of people in costume who are acting like they are legislators. There's a lot of people in costumes acting like they're elected officials for the people. But may I submit to you humbly that just because you've been voted in does not mean you represent the people. Because at the end of the day, if you represent the people, then you're concerned about the people. If you represent the people, then you work for the people. If you represent the people, then what affects the people ought to affect you. But when you claim, and it's a good day, Halloween, when you claim to be a legislator representing the people, and the last thing on your list is the people, because you're eating and you're eating well, and you can miss probably years of a paycheck, and it does not matter, and the majority of Americans cannot. So what do we teach Americans? We teach them have 6 weeks of money put aside. That's basically it. Have 6 weeks of money put aside so that you can make it through tough times. Well, the tough times are supposed to be about maybe being fired, maybe your company closed down, maybe a natural disaster. Never for a man-made disaster from those who are parading around as elected officials who are now like little kids in a playground. But the problem is, in a playground, you play with a ball. In a playground, you play on the swings. In a playground, you play on the slide. But when you're an elected official, you ain't in the playground. This is the real world. And while we're over in other countries trying to help feed them, the question is, who's going to feed us?
Yeah.
Who's going to feed our nieces, nephews? Who's going to feed? And I know what some on one side of the aisle will say, well, that ain't our responsibility. Well, I can give you a history lesson of kind of why it is. Because at the end of the day, some of the people who are making money on the backs of our taxes.
Yep.
They're making global money. Listen, you know what? I ain't going against, I'm a Bills fan. But at the end of the day, sports is not more important than people.
Yes, sir.
And so in a few hours, benefits for some of our most needy whatever. I don't have time to choose the right words today. From some of our people who are in the most need are going to be cut off. And while some people in Washington are running around with costumes on, and I don't mean Donald Duck and all that, the Avengers. I'm talking about they walking around with suits on and ties on and shoes on, and they're masquerading to be elected officials, federal elected officials. And at the end of the day, and I said it last week, I'm going to say it again, while you're building a ballroom to feed the rich, the most vulnerable people in our community are scrambling to try to figure out how they're going to put food on the table. And you don't want me to go back to why is the responsibility, because I'd have to go back to institutional racism.
Yes, sir.
People don't want to talk about it, but y'all gave us the license to talk about it. You gave us the license to talk about it when you cut every program and cut federal funding to programs that help people get. If you think that few dozens of years or decades of having diversity and inclusion made everything right, you are beside yourself. That little period when I can count how long people were enslaved, and then from civil rights time to this time, when all of a sudden this was an unfair process, so was slavery. You want to talk to me about an unfair process? What about the process of you going over into another land, bringing people over here to build a White House by black hands? And you want to talk to me about unfair? That's unfair. But your decades long of inclusion and diversity does not erase the years of being enslaved, the years of being beaten, the years of being neglected, the years that we're still suffering from, because there are still people who are of non-color who think that they are better than other people. And so it is more difficult. And I don't care. The data is there. Let's deal with data. The data is there. It's still harder for a black man, the average black man, to get a job than the average white man. It's still there. The data is there. It's still more difficult for an average black woman to get the same job as a white woman, period. And now even others are coming, so the black man is being pushed. Because I ain't talking about the brown man. I'm talking about the black man. I'm talking about the man who came from Africa, being pushed now to the bottom, because you can say, oh, yeah, but we're helping here, and we're helping here, and we're helping here. Now, I ain't saying that sometimes we are not our worst enemy. We can be. But let's not forget, we're not our only enemy, because we didn't start this. We didn't start this. And at the end of the day, does the government have some responsibility, not just for helping? This food stamp SNAP ain't just about black people.
Sure isn't.
There are plenty. I'm running in, so I didn't have all my figures up. But there are plenty of people who are of non-color who receive SNAP. I'm speaking up for the struggling, the poor.
I was getting ready to say the numbers will show you that there is more poor white and rural white Americans on social services than people of color, and black people. And the data has been there. It's been shown. And I think that's the disbelief with some of us, is that you guys are those vulnerable, because last time I checked, vulnerability and poor doesn't look at color. So hey, you guys are going to be affected the same way. But the brainwashing or the partisan thought of, you feeling like you shouldn't be in this boat, but you are. You guys lose benefits too, and it's just like it's just weird. History. I'm in this history class for school, and it's U.S. history up to the Civil War, and we were just talking about how this country was built by the Federalists, and George Washington, elitist, but his narrative gets told as he's America's, the revolutionary savior, but they didn't believe in Native Americans, people of color, and even women having any rights. So this country was built on this same principle that they're operating on now of if it's white, it's right. And this is what they're trying to take us back to, and that's just the sad fact of the matter right now.
Absolutely. Listen, at the end of the day, and let me get a little water, and I knew power to the people. If you want a glass, we can tell you how to get it in a little while, but at the end of the day, I now have 2025 SNAP beneficiaries. White individuals are the largest racial group of SNAP recipients, accounting for around 35 to 36% of beneficiaries nationally. Now, per capita, it may be different,
right? But
the largest group is 35 to 36, followed by African Americans, 22 to 26.
Yep.
Hispanics, Latinos, 15 to 29%. Asian Pacific Islanders, 4 to 5. Native Americans consistently represent about 1 to 1.3% of recipients. Children under 18 make up approximately 33 to 39%. 18 to 59, 42%. 60 and over, 12 to 20%. Nearly 10% of non-elderly individuals living with disability. Women are the majority of SNAP recipients. So when after I'm gonna call Wendy over at our food pantry, because we got to have a conversation, because, and I'm just gonna say it, because a lot of people, whenever there's a disaster, start blaming the church. Now I get it, because the church is the most visible profit and not-for-profit in most poor areas. It's the church.
Yes.
But I submit, instead of blaming the church that has remained in the cities, instead of blaming the church that is open every week, first let's start where the blame needs to be, because the blame ain't on the church.
No, it's not.
Because there's not one pastor as a pastor. Now, Warnock is there, but he's there as an elected official.
Yes.
Let's be clear. There's not one pastor in their pulpit that signed up to have to fix everything that the government messes up. So how about this? It's just my humble suggestion, and you don't have to take it. Instead of blaming the church, how about blame your elected officials?
Yes.
How about call your elected officials? How about write your elected officials? How about get on your social media, and instead of saying, where the church at, ask, where's your council member or congressman? Where's your senator? Where the heck is your president?
Right.
Where is your vice president? How about that? And I'm not trying to defend churches, but I am going to defend them a little bit, because they are my colleagues. There are some churches barely making it themselves, because some of the people in the pews are barely making it. Let's be honest. You see handfuls of churches, no matter where you go, that maybe it looks like they're prosperous. At the end of the day, you don't know what that church has to do to stay afloat. You don't know who they help, because if they tell who they help, then you're going to dog them. Oh, they showing how many people they helping. Why don't they just do it out of their heart? Okay, many of them are, and you don't know it. But in this climate, because we have been so poisoned in our brain, you are damned if you do and you damned if you don't. If you help and you say you helping, then you showing off. If you help and you don't say anything, then because you don't know, then that must mean churches aren't doing something. Get out of here with that mess with me. You didn't pick the wrong day, the wrong person. Because at the end of the day, there are churches that's got 2 and 3 people, but at least they're still open.
Still there.
Because I'd rather for the church to do the church's mission. The first one is to get people to Christ. Then it's about feeding. But you can't feed nobody if nobody's sitting there. What do you think? We pray and all of a sudden God just sends down $500,000 to feed the poor? So there are churches who are doing stuff. There are pastors and I'm not going to start calling them out, because there are pastors I don't know that are doing stuff. But I can tell you that there are pastors and ministers who've been in this fight before SNAP was about to be cut off.
Yep.
I can tell you that there are people in Atlanta and in Buffalo and in most major cities that I have been to in my life where there's always a group of people who have come together, but we got to come together, and we can't come together just around SNAP, because we got 3 more years of this foolishness.
Yes. Yeah.
We got to be ready, because there could be another government shutdown. We got to be ready for national disaster. So I want to say big ups. I met with the local leader, the CAO here in Buffalo, on something else. And she, said, hey, I want to get people together, want to get the leaders together, so we on one page. Now, I'm sure there are other people doing stuff. I'm going to join her tomorrow. I think that she's supposed to send a link. I'm going to send it out to other pastors, because at the end of the day, everybody can't feed. Right. Because they don't have the capacity, but if they got a building, they could be a site.
Right.
And that's what we got to start seeing. How do we collectively work together so that if I've got food, the last time we got food from Compassion International, we couldn't handle all that food.
It was 3 truckloads.
3 truckloads full. So White Rock took some. Marquita Whitehead and her church took some. We distributed out to other churches so that different places are fed. That wasn't on the news. because we didn't put out a press release.
Right.
We fed the hungry. That's it. And that's all. Go ahead. I'm going to call Wendy.
I was going to say, and to the point of where your elected officials at, Buffalo right now we have local elections. Atlanta, you have local elections. If you sit home on any election, your voice becomes muted, not just as a point of we can't trust you, but you're not engaged. Too many people have fought for us to vote. Too many people in this country, and they trying to take those rights. they trying to take the rights for us to vote now, and we still want to sit home. So we have to get out and vote. The mayor, I think the mayors in both cities, Buffalo and Atlanta, are up for election. We're in early voting now. I don't know if Atlanta has early voting. You got to get out. If nothing else, by Tuesday, you got to go vote.
And hold the people accountable who need to be held accountable first. Hold the people accountable who need to be held accountable first. Listen, every church can't do this. I got Wendy Rogers. How are you, Wendy?
I'm just peachy, thank you.
Let me see if I can get you. We got her good. Wendy, I know you're away. I want to thank you for taking the time. Your job here at True Bethel is running our food ministry. How many meals approximately or families do we service here every month?
Okay, we service over 500. That includes 500 families, but that includes 1,500 individuals, which comes to 10,514 meals a month.
A month. That we do in cooperation, of course, with, Western New York Feed More?
Yes, Western New York Feed More. And also I have an organization that also gives us dairy products, milk on a weekly basis. And I linked up with another organization, which is called Farms to Families, that gives us produce on Wednesdays.
So, Wendy, I can't even remember. I know we started the food pantry, the clothing pantry, because we also have another building with clothes. Do you remember how long the food pantry has been there? Because this isn't just we're reacting to a tragedy right now. We've been reacting to it.
Oh, yes. I've been overseeing the food pantry for over 20 years. So it started with Deacon Madden and Brother Brown. So I'm thinking they have the history, so it could be 25, maybe 25 years, over 25 years.
So I've been here 31 years. We've been feeding, literally feeding the hungry, whether it is by groceries. And by the way, I'm not tooting my horn. I'm just letting people know, because I don't do it. You have volunteers that don't even belong to True Bethel. So this is a community effort. Tell us about the volunteers and when food is distributed and how people are able to get food.
Okay, we distribute food on a Wednesday. I have over 25 volunteers plus. It depends on the date. A lot of them do not belong to True Bethel, a lot do. But they can come on Wednesdays, and we give them, if it's the first time, we give them emergency bags, and it includes 9 food groups, which is the protein, vegetables, grain, and fruit. So we give them 4 fruit items in each bag, and each bag contains 9 days worth of food for each person that's in a person's household.
Okay.
So if there's 5 people in a household, then 5 people get a bag.
I see. I'm not even aware of it. And you have the volunteers that come over here every Wednesday come from different churches, come from community organizations, correct?
Yes. We also have Snug that comes. That's a big part of my volunteer when we do the heavy stuff. I get them to do, help out with the heavy stuff. And there's like 20 of them that come out whenever I need to call them. They come out.
And so, Wendy, are we prepared if November 1st, tomorrow, are we prepared for next Wednesday when there will be probably even longer line?
Oh, absolutely. I'm all set for it. I'm ready for it. I ordered extra stuff just in case. We're hit. I may not have, I do have the space for it, and I have ordered stuff, and we will get more food on the 5th. I placed an order for the 5th. So when we open on Wednesday, we have food for then, and then I got food coming that Friday.
So, and I'll say this, Wendy, and that you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. We're not the only one. There are other churches and nonprofit organizations who are gearing up just like us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're gearing up. However, our church, and I'm not tooting my own horn, like you said, our food pantry is the one that gives out the most and the better. They tell us all the time. I've observed other food pantries, and the stuff that we give is not half as much as the other pantries do.
And that's because we have the capacity, but I know, and so I'm going to say this out there, because for those of you who complain about where the church, where's this, we need a bigger food pantry. So anybody out there who wants to donate, and I don't mean $5, I'm talking about somebody out there with some deep pockets, and you say, you know what, we'll sponsor so that we don't have to be out in the cold, because we have people every Wednesday, rain, snow, no matter what, who have to take groceries to a car. We would love for people to be able to park in the parking lot and be able to walk into a place with dignity and not out of their cars, pick what they want at a certain level, and then be able to go back. And so that's what we want. I'm praying to God, if you out there and you watching, I don't want to get ready. I want to be ready. And at the end of the day, Wendy, you, your team, and to every other not-for-profit or for-profit, because there's some for-profits that are reaching out. Ty reached out to me from Heaven's Countertop. She was like, Pastor, whatever we got to do, tell us, these are the days we close. If we need to feed people on these days, we will do it. That's a for-profit business who is saying, a member of this church who's saying, we still want to do ministry even though we're a for-profit business.
Absolutely.
So, Wendy, thank you. I appreciate you. Anything else you wanted to say?
No, I just wanted to put a kudos out to my team, because without the team, it doesn't work. It's not going to work. And I shout kudos to every single last one of them.
Thank you, Wendy. Tim Newkirk is on GYC Ministries operation. They're out. They're figuring it out, too. And by the way, our condolences in his recent loss of a giant in our community. But at the end of the day, I'm standing up for those who are doing something.
Absolutely.
And who, no matter what you do, they get beat up. At the end of the day, we have to stand up. Now, listen, I don't think, and I want to say big ups to Governor Kathy Hochul.
Yes. Yep.
Because the New York State governor, and this is not happening all over the place, folks, is saying she is moving resources as we speak.
$30 million from the emergency fund.
Because it's an emergency. Yep. Thank you to our governor. At the end of the day, Kathy Hochul has said, listen, I'm moving this money over. It'll be ready. And every governor in the United States should do it. And then every person in the United States should take a look at what's happening. Listen, I ain't got time to argue Democrat and Republican here.
Nope.
I'm saying both of you.
All of you.
All of you. Take off those doggone costumes and do the job that the people sent you to Washington to do.
Speaking of going to Washington, while you were on the phone, the bottom ticker just came across the TV. Congress is heading home.
So this is I'm trying not to use bad words because just got out of fasting.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't be. But this is peeing me off.
Yeah.
Y'all going home.
Yep. With a salary. With
a salary.
Yeah.
I went through the airport yesterday. I'm going to say this for TSA agents. They're not always the most pleasant people in certain cities.
Yeah.
But I got to say big ups to TSA agents.
Wow. Yeah, big.
Because they were, and I was in New York, okay?
Oh, yeah.
They were not yelling. They were not acting angry. And I'm sure some of them are, but I want to say to every federal worker out there who is not receiving a check and you got bills like everybody
Hearts
else,
and prayers.
And you keep showing up, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to the TSA workers. Thank you to the air traffic control workers. Thank you to the custom workers. Thank you, because these folks, who many of them, let me see this, average income of a United States senator. Now, watch this, folks. These people who are on their way home, the average government salary, the average government salary is $174,000 a year. Party leaders, $193,000. Speaker of the House, $223,000. Total, average total income. Because I'm not talking about what they make on Congress, because that's pennies for them.
Oh, no,
or
no,
Senate,
no.
that's pennies.
No, you got to talk about the worth.
Many people, yeah. Let's see if it comes up. Many people, let me see. They don't have no comparison for that. Average worth of a U.S. senator, because many of them have businesses, are attorneys.
Yep.
Some of them are doctors. So it's easy for them to go home because it's going to be food on their table, and they nor their children are going to have to worry about it. Oh, my gosh. Now, this comes from Investopedia. The average net worth of a U.S. senator in recent years is estimated, are you ready for this? To be around $3.2 million. A few senators are even worth hundreds of millions, and in rare cases, such as Rick Scott, $200 to $43 to $744 million. Mark Warner's $76 to $303 million.
Oh, I got you. According to Business Insider, Senator Jim Justice from West Virginia, a billionaire.
You think I got a crown in my tooth that ain't crowning right, so I'm trying not to. You think they give a, can I say a D about people not having SNAP benefits when you got millions of dollars in your bank account, and some of y'all want to blame the church? Want to get mad at the church? You come on now. Come on. Listen, we're going to pay a commercial. I'm going to tell you why I think this is about, this is going to change soon. We'll be right back.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo: 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
Madeline Scott says, those that keep showing up, working with no pay, thank you. Veronica Bell says, the math ain't mathing for us, the people. Charles Everhart, Wendy Rogers, I'll come out and deliver to seniors. Charles just got out of hospital. See, this is what I mean. He just got out of hospital. He told me he'll come out and deliver to seniors.
Wow.
So that's why I can say, pass me with where is the church?
Yeah.
And nobody has said it. I'm not taking it personal. I'm just putting it out there for my colleagues who we get bashed, and we're not the ones in the White House.
Right.
So you won't go vote, but you'll sit on social media and blame the church for everything.
Yeah.
So this is why I think this is about to be over.
Okay.
You see all these wealthy senators and congressmen are not as,
Right.
I would believe.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I can look it up. But when you start hitting them in their pocket,
Yeah.
now where are they hitting them in the pocket? Well, guess what airport had to close down the other day? It's called MCO, Orlando National Airport.
Yeah.
Because they don't have enough air traffic controllers showing up for work. Now, let me tell you this. Orlando National Airport is so Orlando, the word Orlando is what sells it.
Right.
Notice Orlando National Airport is not like the Washington Airport called Reagan, called Dulles, it's just Orlando. They ain't even messing with the name. You ain't about to, because our trademark is Orlando.
Right, right.
Disney is not even in Orlando.
Sure isn't.
You fly into Orlando.
Yes.
Orlando, it ain't a whole lot going. If you go to downtown Orlando, it's nothing. It's like Buffalo, to be very honest. The only thing they got going on is the Lake Eola, a man-made lake in the middle of downtown. Other than that, it ain't nothing really popping. So Orlando, the name, when you don't have people who can get to Disney, let me tell you this. You can cut Snap. Now you mess with people's entertainment, because that's what people care about most.
Yeah.
Let's say the federal government helped fund the Bills and they say it ain't going to be no Bills games. Oh, my gosh, people will be all up in arms. You think people who got $1 million, $10 million in the bank?
Yep.
Some of their worth is connected to something that has to do with providing services, entertainment, something.
Like you said, and at the end of the day, the biggest thing is if you keep affecting things that are on the stock market,
bruh,
that's what crashes, and then everybody's going to start panicking because they're going to start pulling. They'll be looking like the Great Depression again.
Ross Jomo said, "Tell it like a T.I. is." I am, because at the end of the day, you got to say it. This is ridiculous. But boy, when I saw that Orlando was on a 3-hour delay, which meant that many flights were not going to connect, which meant that family vacations have to be changed, altered, or canceled, which means Disney is not going to be able to make the money, which means the economy around Orlando, around Kissimmee, around Davenport is not going to make that money. It's going to change things. And, they ain't worried if, if Philly, the air traffic controllers don't come in, if Buffalo air traffic controllers don't come in. They worried about these mega tourist areas.
You have to, because even like you said, if I'm trying to get to Philly, and Philly's close, I have Newark. I can fly into LaGuardia, take the train down. So there's other places. So some of these other urban or metropolitan cities have another airport close by that you can just finagle your way back to. So Orlando, you're going to fly into Miami or Fort Lauderdale and take that 2-hour drive back across.
Well, see, it's just like Carnival cruises. When Carnival started doing super discounted rates and more people of color could be on Carnival. First Carnival was like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Then when they brought some of their culture with them.
Yeah, some of their cousins too.
There's like, nah. And other people say, oh, we going over to Royal Pacific. We going over to higher end, right?
Yeah.
Disney, we had our troubles at Disney. But right now, ain't nobody trying to go to Disney who's struggling because they got to eat. That means
that $14 hot dog catch up to
$14. Amen. Especially when you come home and you can't buy a pack of hot dogs for $8. So at the end of the day, people who got money, they like, okay, time to go to Disney. Time to entertain. Time to enjoy. But now when you can't get there, bruh, it's about to change. And there's already some Republicans who are saying, we need to get in the room. Oh.
And you know who the biggest one is now?
Marjorie
on the other side, like, hey. And that's where, again, sometimes, and we talked about it last week with Congressman Kennedy, that's where sometimes that plan comes in. Because as much as we all may disagree, when the pressure is on people, sometimes they start leaking. And her concern, she's not even, whatever her we know what her reason is. She's not concerned about snapping her people in her community. She said, we need to be concerned about next year's midterms.
Absolutely.
So she's not worried about the snap for people in her residence. She's saying we got to open up so this doesn't hurt us in next year's midterms. So that's where it comes to, we got to make our voice heard at the poll box.
It is affecting so many. Now, I'm not saying that the shutdown is affecting Amazon, but AI is affecting them. They're laying off 14,000. Here locally in Buffalo, Delaware North. It's doing a big cut. Like the economy is being affected, and there's some people who are now going, wait a minute. What are you going to do for us? How are we going to stay rich? And this is what a lot of people don't understand. There are people who are okay with having poor in the community as long as they don't have to see them.
Oh, absolutely.
And as long as they benefit from it. And we out here arguing about stuff. I hate that my hand just went like Trump. Like I did like this. We out here, I guess if you see something long enough, we out here arguing about stuff that doesn't, that end of the day, I think this Disney thing. Now, Trump is also, and I'm not going to get too much in here, because the way he communicates to Congress now is through his social media platform.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He says in the last couple hours, in the filibuster.
Yeah.
Now, folks, what filibuster basically is that a bill cannot pass if there's still conversation to be had. So the other party can say, no, we still want to talk about it. No, we still want to talk about it. No, we still want to talk about it. He's saying get rid of the rule of the filibuster.
Yep.
Because it doesn't work for him anymore.
Nope.
But they use filibuster
all the time
when they were not the majority over and over and over again.
That's why like you said, to put a name on it, that's why Merrick Garland never got appointed to the Supreme Court, because they filibustered the appointment of Merrick Garland.
Absolutely. It's a procedural tactic in Congress to delay, block, or prevent vote on legislation or other business by extending debate indefinitely.
Yes.
So the other party could say, no, I still want to debate the bill.
Yep.
And that's why what is happening right now. Mm-hmm. So the budget can't be passed because the Democrats are filibustering.
Yes.
And they just keep the conversation going.
Yep.
And now the president of the United States says, change the rules.
Mm-hmm.
This is like being in the middle of a football game. And because you're losing or because you look bad,
change everything.
Let's change where the goal line is. Let's just move it up.
And that's the crazy part, because now even Republican in the House, they're questioning Mike Johnson's leadership, Speaker Johnson's leadership, because he won't even call the House to session.
They're on their way home.
But like all week, they haven't been in session all week. It's just like, well, forget it. We won't even go to session because you don't want to debate this. You don't want to air out the dirty laundry. So again, y'all getting paid to not even go to session. Like
to not go to session. And to me, shame on any federal elected official who doesn't know the pains that their constituents have back at home.
Yeah.
And when they're in the airport, and you can tell when they're in the airport, well, they might go incognito. Because, you know, if you're in Congress, they'll walk you to your gate and all that kind of stuff, pick you up at your gate. Mm-hmm. Usually they on the plane, they got the little badge on their suit or their dress.
The little pin.
I'm sure that the little pin ain't on right now. I'm sure they doing a put on a baseball cap. Because if your senator is holding this up, if your congressman is holding this up and you're not saying it, I'll be in the airport like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
Or at a minimum, learn what they are doing. So like I said, as Congressman Kennedy talked about last week, they're holding the line because they're saying that the House Republicans or the Senate Republicans, none of the Republicans are coming to the table to negotiate. So then, and that's why I asked the question, what do you need from the people? And as you said, we have to apply pressure. And it is pressure to everybody.
Yes.
You can't sit and be quiet. You can't point the fingers. And that's where the partisan politics gets on most of America's nerves.
Yes.
Because we sit here and then you're doing this, and all we want is the help. We just want a bill passed. We just want the government open. We don't care how it gets done. Just open the government and do what you have to do to get to a table and handle business.
And don't, I'm just going to say, don't open it to the detriment of people whose health care,
yes,
is going to go out of the roof if you get health care through the Affordable Care Act. Because what one side is saying is, we'll talk about it later. We know how this goes.
We already know.
You told us you weren't going to disturb the East Wing of the White House. You literally stood on camera and said that you would not touch the East Wing.
Gone.
And then you did it, and you got rid of the committee that makes architectural decisions about the White House. You fired the entire board. And you think that's somebody we can trust? That you're going to come back later? Whenever I told my kids and they came and asked, can we do such, and I say, we see, that means we ain't doing it.
We ain't doing it.
I'm just pushing the can down the road because I don't feel like dealing with your attitude right now.
Listen, I do it when somebody asks me to go somewhere. Let me get back to you.
We'll see.
We'll see.
A we'll see in most times mean we not going to do it.
Nope.
So when the president and when Congress is saying, oh, we'll see, just get the budget passed, and then we'll come back and we'll see, y'all on the way home.
Home.
Which means there will not be a vote tomorrow.
Mm-mm.
Which means we are going to see November 1st come.
Yes.
In a few hours.
Mm.
I say to people in churches who can help. I say to those who don't have either the finances or don't have the capacity, if you got a building, get ready because your building could be used. If you got a van, maybe you can help transport some food because our mission is still to feed the hungry. One of our missions, still to do that.
Yes.
So instead of working against each other and throwing people under the bus, I'm telling you we work better together. Now, I got to find out, because I haven't heard yet from CAO. No. I think she said this call is going to be tomorrow morning. And, I'll just say this. I usually don't do Saturdays. This is an emergency. This is an emergency. So you faith-based leaders who may be watching, or your pastor or whoever, nonprofits, and you want to be a part of that conversation, this is about how we work together, how we're going to get on one page for our people, because this is an emergency. Veronica Bell says he didn't follow protocol with demolition. Diane Koki says, did you see on the news when he said with Donald Trump, say, play the Trump card, where you get that from? Oh, where does he get that from? Yeah, play the Trump card. Yeah.
That's what he called the getting rid of the filibuster. Play the Trump card.
Veronica, it's a lot about mega tourist areas. Lakeisha says, rise up, people. So I think most people in our area are on the same page. Don't know. I mean, heavily Democrat. But again, I keep saying, I don't care whether you're Democrat. I don't care whether you're Republican. The best thing you can do if you're a Democrat, one of the best things for Tim Kennedy, Schumer, Gillibrand, is to communicate with them.
Yes.
So that they can go on the floor of Congress and say, my constituents are outraged. And here are the emails.
Yep.
Here are the phone messages. Because even if you're not an email person, call their office.
Yep.
Tell them your name. Tell them your address. Or just tell them your name. Tell them how you feel. Let them log in. Let them have so many calls coming in that they almost have to go get help to answer all the calls. Because if we go to sleep when many people are getting ready to lose their benefits, and I know what some people say, some people stay on SNAP, some people do. But what I don't hear, those same people talking about corporate greed.
No.
And how there are corporations that have made millions and billions of dollars off of doing government contracting. And now it's even sweeter for some of them because the diversity and inclusion is gone.
Yep.
So now you could just swallow up everything.
And, we talk about this all the time, that I think we all in this country and across the international, wherever you are, we all should be careful about that instant judgmental, they shouldn't be, they should be off by now, they've been on their whole life, this, that, and the other. Because as we always say, we are all one day from needing benefits.
Yep.
You
don't know what can happen in your life.
Your whole world, your bank system, your financial status can all come crumbling down in one day. You can wake up one day and the news just gone. So, and you might be the one down there looking for heat.
Yep.
Looking for food benefits, looking
Yep.
for everything.
Yep.
So we should all be careful about just, they shouldn't be on it. All right.
Exactly. I can tell you this. I got to get the food truck ready this week. We have a food truck. We do not charge when we go out into the community. But the first is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't call Congress back in next week, which I just feel like we're close to this thing opening up, but there's still people that's going to have a gap because they didn't have it for a week or they didn't have it. And what some people who have money don't understand, a week's gap can be detrimental to a family.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to get our food bus ready, our food truck ready, make sure that that's ready to get on the road because everybody can't get to the pantry. And we will not be able to feed everybody.
No.
But we're going to do our best to feed as many as we can. And I know how this rolls, that if you're in line for an hour and you get up there and we're done, but we'll try our best to kind of measure out so we can tell you at this car we're out. But that's going to happen all over the city, folks. And before you get mad at the food pantries that can't give you everything, maybe you want to take that righteous anger, because it's righteous, and get in touch with the people who are sitting at home on their way airplanes across the United States. The nerve of them to get on airplanes to go back across the United States with air controllers who are not being paid, TSA who is not being paid, immigration who is not being paid, while you get a check and you get on that plane, sit comfortably on our tax dollars.
To your mansion.
Because they do not go home on their own money.
No.
We pay for those flights. So you'll keep the money in so you can fly around, but you don't keep the money in so people can eat.
That's crazy.
Tim Newkirk said we can feed Buffalonians during COVID through 514, the storm. We are all we have. I totally agree. I'll say this, and of course I know Buffalo more than I know Atlanta. Atlanta, I know in Buffalo we know how to come together when we have to.
Yes.
Our problem is not coming together. Our problem is sticking together.
Staying together.
Yeah. That's our biggest problem. We can't nobody say we ain't come together after the massacre at Tops. We came together. Can't nobody say that we didn't come together after the storm. We came together. People out there shoveling each other out. I'm out there stuck in a snowplow that I don't know how to use. I was willing to give it my best shot.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Buffalo does come together. And sections of Atlanta, we do come together. The question is, do we stick together so that we have lasting change? People should be scared of people who stick together, especially those who have been hurt and marginalized, because we don't give a damn. Dog, go on. We don't. After a while, it's like, listen, we tired. And we tired of being tired. And as some of you say, we tired of y'all playing in our face.
Yeah.
And that's why when elected officials come to True Bethel and want to speak, I tell the truth to power. Hey, listen, we need you to go back and be a David. We need you to go back and fight for this. Because you can't come and just come to True Bethel and give us ice cream. I'm going to make you get to the meat of the matter. Because I've been there. I know. Let me look and see what else is going on. What else is going on, Mark? I'm so frustrated.
No, I think that's the biggest issue in front of us because, like you said, we're T-minus 11 hours on day 32 of a shutdown. And I don't know because we're not in the room. I don't know if we're any closer. Like you said, with seeing the ticker that they're going home, I don't know any closer to talks. But like I said, the elite still elite. The poor getting poor.
Yes.
And like you said, it's the role of the church. It's the role of community-based organizations to fill the gap. And again, you can't place the blame there because a lot of that funding still comes from the federal government.
Preach.
So you can only do but so much.
I would not be able. I'm not going to pretend that True Bethel is the one that's buying all this food. I'm not going to pretend that some of the programs we have that we sponsor, at the end of the day, some of this does come in, especially for the food. Now, can you imagine if food gets cut off to feed more?
Yeah.
We're really in trouble.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this. working together. As Kamal says, it works. As Ross said, Al Green, let's stay together. And we got to make sure that those who want to do are able to do, because there are people out there who want to help.
Yes.
Shuki was just on. She said, I just want to help. Well, Shuki, depending on how next week looks, because my next week looks like it's being turned around, I don't think I'm going to be concentrating on sermons and Bible studies. This is where you roll up the sleeves, we pull out our resources, and we do what we got to do. So I can tell you next Wednesday, I'm not sure of how this works. You can call the office. Our food pantry will be open. I can tell you that our food truck will be out, and we'll be in areas and just taking care of those who need us. And you can call us whatever name you want to. You can call us whatever name you want to. I'm not looking for no press. We're not sending out a press release. We're doing the work.
That's it.
So then you could say churches ain't doing nothing. You have that right. Question is, what are you doing? While people out there blaming everybody except the right person, what exactly are you doing? What church do you belong to? What community organization do you belong to? And by the way, there are more religious organizations in our community than the church.
Yes.
Are you asking what Hindus are doing? Are you asking what Muslims are doing? No, because we're the easiest targets. And I'm okay with that. But when you blame one group of people who are the most visible in most black communities, you've done exactly what the enemy wanted you to do. We implode on ourselves, and our people suffer. Listen, I'm throwing it back to the station. It's time to go. Thank you, Hobson's to Dr. Dry Clean and Brian K. Lewis. Until next week, power to the people.